Yeah, this script has been ready since yesterday, but it was a pretty crazy day in a lot of good ways. As yes, after months of leaks and rumors, the Pixel 7 lineup is finally official. The Pixel Watch and the Pixel Tablet actually ended up being more of a pleasant surprise than expected, and the iPhone 14 Plus has already started arriving to customers like me, but it seems not many people. I'm Jaime Rivera, and just because you see me on a Cabby Lame Google Pixel reel doesn't mean I'm famous, because I'm blurred out. That's how it works. This is Pocketnow Daily. The news today are pretty much all official, and I know that's rare, but let's start with a palate cleanser with some news about Apple with the iPhone 14 Plus. 3 weeks after its announcement, customers who pre-ordered the Plus model are finally getting their devices, including myself, so stay tuned for a review coming soon. Thing is, it had been reported that Cupertino had big expectations for this whole lineup back in July, to the point where they instructed their suppliers to be prepared to build more units than the 90 million originally planned. Now it's reported that the base models are not gaining popularity among customers, especially the bigger model, and apparently Cupertino has already told its suppliers to scrap those earlier instructions. According to analysts, one of the main reasons for the low sales is the economic downturn going on in China, which is one of the most important markets for the company and this device. In general, the global demand is going down, as it led to 11% lower purchases in the first 3 days of availability compared to the iPhone 13 series a year ago. If you want proof of that, you can place an order and get a same-day pickup when it comes to this phone on Apple stores almost around the world. That said, aside from the downturn, I just think the price is too crazy. Why get this phone if you can get a Pro Max for $200 more, which translates to just a few bucks in installment payments? Let us know if you agree in the comments. Now let's talk about Google for the next couple of segments, starting off with the new Tensor G2 that is in charge of powering the Pixel 7 series and even the Pixel tablet. Yes, it's been official for a bit, but now we have more inside information on what makes it special. It's built on Samsung's 4nm process, which is honestly not necessarily my favorite, given the differences in performance between the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 and the 8 Plus Gen 1 that uses TSMC, but still is an improvement over the 5nm node used on the original chip. The CPU stays exactly the same, and it only has a little bump in clock speeds, though again on a more efficient process. Now where it gets interesting is on the GPU, which Google made a big deal of at their event. It has a Mali G710 MC10, which promises a 35% performance and efficiency boost for machine learning tasks, which will be extremely useful for the Pixel camera application. The Tensor G2 is responsible for features like photo unblur, which is an exclusive to the new series. It uses Google's advanced AI to remove blur and noise from old photos taken years ago with any old phone, not necessarily just this one. And yeah, if you didn't know, you can actually bring iPhone photos to a Pixel and remove anybody that's behind you, just like you can on Pixel 6 and 7. Google also claims that the new SoC is able to run machine learning tasks 60% faster and 20% more efficient. Anyway, only time will be able to tell us how good the Tensor G2 actually is, so let's hope the results are good. Moving on, let's talk about Google's first smartwatch, the Pixel Watch, which is actually a lot better than I expected. It is available in two options, Wi-Fi and LTE, but only comes in one size, which is 44mm, which is okay for most people, but pretty small for me. It is equipped with a 1.2-inch display, which peaks at 1000 nits of brightness for outdoor visibility, and has an always-on mode. It has a dome shape with only one physical button on the right side, the rotating crown, which is another, and the rest is covered by Gorilla Glass 5, while the rest of the chassis is made of stainless steel. I know, I hope it can survive heavy use, but anyways, as for sensors, the Pixel Watch has a heart rate sensor at the bottom along with ECG functionality for more detailed heart readings, and this is persistent, by the way, which is in its own far better than what any Apple Watch currently does. Actually, instead of thinking this as a Wear OS watch, think of it as a Fitbit powered by Wear OS, as integration is pretty tight, and that's also a great thing. As for specifications, 5 ATM water resistance, the choice of SoC is a bit controversial because this Exynos 9110 has been powering Galaxy Watches since 2018, but then the 2 gigs of RAM is a lot, and then the 24 hours of battery life is not. And just to wrap it up, it starts at $350 for the Wi-Fi version, while the LTE option is yours for $400, and you can get it for free with a Pixel 7 Pro pre-order. Thing is, in my hands-on experience, I liked it a lot. It seriously is more of a Fitbit than anything, so I can't wait to tell you more in our full review. Honorable mentions goes to the Pixel tablet, not because it's amazing, but because it does have that Tensor G2, and that docking system that turns it into a Nest Hub is just genius. That's the perfect example of how to turn a boring product into a very cool idea that you'll have to wait for until next year. And finally, for the hottest announcement so far, let's talk about the Pixel 7 series that is now finally official. Rumors got a lot of things right, but not all. Obviously, the base model features the new Tensor G2 paired with 8 gigs of RAM and up to 256 gigs of storage, same as last year. On the front, we have a 6.3-inch flat AMOLED panel running at 90Hz with Full HD Plus resolution, and this time it has 25% higher peak brightness than the Pixel 6 display. As previously rumored, it has a 4355 mAh battery, which is smaller. However, the more efficient hardware means extreme battery saver mode can go up to 72 hours and around 31 hours without it, though we'll have to see. Now, for photography, we have a dual camera system made of a 50 megapixel main sensor and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, all matched by Google Super Res Zoom software improvements to take them further, and that uses the Tensor G2. Now, moving on to the star of the show, the Pixel 7 Pro, like last year, comes with 12 gigs of RAM, and you can get it up to half a terabyte of storage. For the display, 6.71-inch AMOLED Quad HD Plus LTPO panel with 10 to 120 Hz variable refresh rate. Yes, I'm running out of breath. The battery has a 5,000 mAh capacity and supports fast, wireless, and reverse wireless charging. Now, even if the camera specifications sound similar, the Tensor G2 helps with added improvements. There is a 50 megapixel main sensor with the option for 4-in-1 binning and has optical image stabilization as well as electronic stabilization. It is paired with a 12 megapixel ultra wide that now has autofocus, allowing it to take macro shots. Next up, the telephoto camera still has a 48 megapixel resolution, but now has a longer lens with 5x optical magnification, and then the Super Res Zoom lets you take those optics up to 10x through software capabilities, and it's a very interesting play of how they do it. Finally, both models are already available for pre-order, with the Pixel 7 starting at $599, which is really good, and then the Pro version starting at $899, which is also a great price point. In today's question, let us know, what do you think of everything that Google launched at this event? Because for me, I feel that this is a year of refinement. Yes, I do have all these products already, but I can't give you details until the full review, so stay tuned for that. But so far, I like a lot of what the company has done. I feel that these products are so much better than before, even if it doesn't seem that way, but that's me. Leave us a comment down below. We'd love to know your opinion, though remember, I do have a mid-hand, and so far, I am pretty impressed. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow us on social media as our extended coverage happens on Instagram, and follow me on my personal handles to see me be blurred out by other people's footage. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.